Good day everyone, this is Grove 4 and our topic for today is gender and sexuality online.
Sex education is a very rare to be discussed in our country. They say that it is bastos or rude to talk about it because it is so awkward. Here in the Philippines, our parents usually avoid the topic because in their mind, we will be curious about it and we will try to experience it. But we must we must accept the fact that we have to know all the facts about our private parts, especially during intercourse with another person. Although some of the people are not talking about it, especially in public, some people are educating adults and especially teenagers via online or social media nowadays because we have a right to know about it to keep ourselves protected or to avoid early pregnancy. Some content creators choose to educate people in different platforms in social media. It is very helpful to help teenagers to prevent early pregnancy, and it provides information about our private parts on how to protect it and what to do to avoid getting infected, especially against AIDS and or STD. Research says that the rate of teenage pregnancy is decreasing because the teenagers are protected and obtained enough knowledge to avoid it. As we all know, the technology is evolving every day. Social media platforms plays a big role to inform everyone about sex education. You can just search it on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and other site or application in the internet for free. For just watching online, you will gain enough knowledge about your reproductive system, getting tips from professional doctors online, knowing the facts and the myth, getting advice from different types of situation, and especially keeping you safe from diseases. The benefits of sexuality education being taught online is information on reproductive and high risk associated with sexuality. Sexuality education is essential to prevent and combat sexual abuse against children, sexual violence, and sexual exploitation. Without it, people are not educated enough to make practical decisions. This leads to consequences such as sexually transmitted disease and unwanted pregnancies. In particular, the lack of sexual education in the Philippines is a large issue. The Philippines is very populated with many unwanted pregnancy.
Okay, sexuality online offers a range of advantages to people. One significant advantage is the ability to explore one's sexuality anonymously. Many individuals feel more comfortable exploring their sexual desires and preferences online without fear of judgment or repercussion in their life. Anonymity can allow individuals to be more open and honest about their sexual experiences and can lead to greater self awareness and personal growth. Another advantage of sexuality online is accessibility. The internet provides a vast range of resources and platforms for people to explore and engage in sexual activities. From educational resources and forums to social media groups, online dating, and hookup apps, people can find a variety of resources and communities that cater to their specific needs and interests. Additionally, the convenience of accessing these resources from the comfort and privacy of one's own home can be particularly helpful for people with mobility issues, disabilities, or social anxiety. Overall, sexuality online offers a range of benefits that can help people explore and express their sexuality in a safe and consensual ways.
Dating app. An online dating application is an online dating service presented through a mobile phone application, often taking advantage of smartphone GPS location capabilities. Always on hand presence, easy access to digital photo galleries, and mobile wallets to enhance the traditional nature of online dating. So, these are the sample of dating apps: Tinder, OkCupid, Bubble, Coffee Meets Bagel, Zeus, and lastly, Facebook.
So, my topic is pornography. So, pornography, often shortened to porn or porno, has been defined as sexual subject material such as a picture, video, or text that is primarily intended to assist sexual arousal in the consumer and is created and commercialized with the consent of all persons involved. Indicated for the consumption by adults, pornography depictions have evolved from cave paintings some 40 millennia ago to virtual reality presentation in modern day. Pornography use is considered a widespread recreational activity among people in line with other digitally mediated activities such as use of social media or video games. A distinction is often made regarding adult content as whether it is classified as pornography or erotica.
Gender discrimination is when someone is treated unequally or disadvantageously based on their gender but not necessarily in sexual nature. This includes harassment, discrimination based on sex, gender identity, or gender expression. A space for learning, leisure, and accessing information, the internet plays an essential role in shaping our conception of the world, our opinions, and our values. Gender stereotypes existing in the offline environment, which are the root of inequality between men and women, and at the origin of gender violence, are also present in the online world. Children and young people are in the process of forming their opinions and attitudes about norms and acceptable behavior, and also about sexuality. Their attitudes toward women and men, their present and future conduct and rules are being strongly influenced by internet content. Certain online services and easily available violent and sexist material can also put them at a risk. The challenge is how to protect their full enjoyment of the right to freedom of expression and access to information to online environments and at the same time prevent the damaging effects of gender-related harmful content. This is indispensable for achieving de facto equality between men and women. On internet, women can be exposed to risks such as surveillance, harassment, stalking, identity theft, and manipulation, which are also related to consequences offline, such as persecution in private and professional environments, defamation, and bodily harm. The tracking of mobile phones is seen as a useful innovation. However, it is often used for stalking. Be aware about the way individuals think about gender, including stereotypes and how discrimination and gender rules hurt people. Can help understand how internet of a sexual and violent nature can lead to violence and discrimination against women.
Cyber sex is a virtual sex encounter via the internet or cell phone that doesn't involve person-to-person contact. It's also known as internet sex, computer sex, net sex, or cybering. Although the practice is frowned upon by some due largely to society's discomfort with sexuality in general, cybersex can be a positive way for people to enjoy and or explore their sexuality in ways that don't put them at a risk of sexually transmitted infections, STIs, or pregnancy. It's also an option when in-person sex needs to be put on hold, such as when a partner is sick, a couple lives in different state, or people are practicing social distancing, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Gender disadvantage. One of the major causes of gender inequality is the lack of awareness among women about their rights and their ability to achieve equality. This lack of awareness is often due to the prevailing cultural and social norms, which dictate that women should be subservient to men. With the prevalence of gender discriminations and social norms and practices, girls become exposed to the possibility of child marriage, teenage pregnancy, child domestic work for education and health, sexual abuse, exploitations, and violence. Many of these manifestations will not change unless girls are valued more. What are the two disadvantages? First, there are difference between the first there are difference between the roles of men and women, differences that demand different approaches. Second, there is systemic inequality between men and women. Universally, there are clear patterns of women's inferior access to resource and opportunities.
Advantages of gender. Gender equality makes our communities safer and healthier. Unequal societies are less cohesive. They have higher rates of antisocial behavior and violence. Countries with greater gender equality are more connected. Their people are healthier and have better well-being. In more equal countries, human beings are generally happier and healthier. There is less crime, more creativity, and high educational attainment. Advantage of gender online. Gender mainstreaming is a strategy to improve the quality of public policies, programs, and projects, ensuring a more efficient allocation of resources. Better results mean increased well-being for both women and men, and the creation of a more socially just and sustainable society. Findings regarding gender differences in online learning outcomes tend to be inconsistent and even paradoxical. Online female learners prove more perseverant and engaged than males, while males tend to hold more stable positive attitudes toward online learning.
Internet sexuality or online sexuality, cybersexuality, online sexual activities or ASA, refers to sexual-related content and activities observable on the Internet. This umbrella term designates a variety of sexual phenomena like sexually implicit material, sex education, sexual contacts related to a wide spectrum of online services and applications like websites, online chat rooms, and peer-to-peer network. Internet sexuality. While only a small minority is affected by predominantly negative consequences, like excessive overuse of online pornography, use of illegal sexual content, online sexual harassment, and online infidelity, Online sexuality was first seeded as a social force in the mid 1980s with the release of the first desktop computers and public computer networks. The earliest empirical studies in the field were published in the mid 1990s with the popularization of the Internet. Since then, the volume of academic publications on Internet sexuality has increased significantly with each passing year. Sexuality as a developmental issue is present throughout the life cycle, but becomes especially salient during adolescence. Adolescents have to adjust to their developing sexuality, in particular their increased sexual drive and interest in sex, and have the task of constructing their sexual selves. Sexual content and topic feature prominently in adolescents, online live from chat rooms to bulletin boards and in adolescents' online conversations, including well-published instances of sexting. In this chapter, we show how young people use the internet to deal with their developing sexuality. We begin by highlighting important aspects of this adolescent developmental issue and then examine the characteristic of online environments that support sexual activities more generally. The rest of the chapter will describe an adolescent's online sexual exploration from the construction of the sexual self to their access of sexually implicit content. Because most of the research on adolescents' online sexual exploration is silent on the issue of gay and lesbian youth, we consider the potential role of the internet for sexual minority youth separately. Even though age and gender trends in adolescents' online explorations parallel offline ones, we will show that online behaviors are not identical to offline ones, as they adapt their behaviors to the characteristic of online environments.